badge, and then I ask you guys to come forward for your cyber badges. I read a huge thing about that, and then I call you guys and your presenter. So let me make sure all the presenters are correct. Shaner, your father.
Yes.
Okay. Flores will be your wife. Okay. Gore, me.
Yeah.
Sergeant Abraham, it's going to be your girlfriend. Okay. Ibrahim. Okay. There's no fun. No fun. Okay. Ibrahim. Got it. And then Reinitz will be Ralston. Coralba will be your wife. Okay. Patrick, also Ralston. Martin will be your girlfriend. Okay. Sergeant Park will be Griffin. Yelma will be Sergeant Kelly. Okay. And Sergeant Piedra will be Sergeant Stacks. All right, cool. Then we present the awards. The outstanding contributor was a person. Then we talk about distinguished graduate. Distinguished graduate for the class was a person. And then each class, blah, blah, students come together to decide which of their instructors made the biggest impact. You guys picked an instructor.
Are you able to read that sentence statement out there? It's got like a tempo to it.
Intricate.
What's that?
It's got like a tempo to it.
What's the tempo? Give me the tempo.
A-B.
It's like under the tree, it's like a nursery rhyme.
It's a rhyme. It is a poem.
I can read poems.
Okay, good.
I'm quite capable.
I wasn't sure if you put like commas or I don't know how to make spaces in it.
Oh, so it's line by line.
Oh, okay, I'm on.
Yeah,
Cool,
so
great.
it is in limerick.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And then sorry, the instructor will come up and say stuff, and then Major Ray will present that instructor something, and then blah blah blah. Then I ask you guys to come to the front, and then Chief Bailey will come, shake your hands, give you the coin, and he's gonna say
The thing.
and you guys are gonna say the thing back, and then I say, ladies and gentlemen, present to you class 22013, woo! And then you guys will lead us in the scene up here.
Sounds good.
And then that's pretty much it. Any questions?
When we stand up to get the, or put the guns up and all that, there's
Yeah.
a keyword. Please, there was please, I don't know if you should go
We
Right.
want to practice our standing in unison.
Sure.
I'm not practicing, I'm just trying to remember what the.
It was the P.
So the line I will read is class 22013. Please prepare for the presentation of your cyber badges. So if you guys want to go on, please. I will
So that
I will
way from up here.
put the appropriate comma and say please.
While they're in your pockets.
Okay, so for cyber badges, we're gonna hold on to them and you're gonna give them to your presenter. Okay?
We will hold them.
You hold on to yours, you give them to your presenter. It's worked best that way. So also presenters will not be putting on the props. So we're just put it on and then go, because otherwise it can take like a minute and a half to get them on, because this is not the best working space and it's awkward. So we'll do our best to get them on, and then when you guys sit down, you can real quick and then call it. Okay, so any other questions?
And then I know we're walking.
Don't punch
this way. Right, we're lining up this
No.
way.
Yeah, so you're gonna line up this way.
You come across.
Come across stage. Duck up there, stand, and then you'll get your stuff.
Shake, take, salute.
Yep.
Picture.
Whatever it is.
And then we.
They fired the
So you come over here.
Oh, okay, the book's over here.
The book's over here.
They fired.
You guys will sign your book over here.
Shane, you're the first one that is. I was going to follow you.
So,
Look, there's a book to sign that you were here. Come up, duck, pin. I'm not going to pretend. There's a pen, and the bullet, and the sign.
Yep.
The sign, and then you go this way.
You go all the way around.
So it's just after I shit.
Yeah. Yeah. If you come over here, sign the book, you can go all the way around so we avoid the camera. Today. So
We're done. We're done.
yeah, I called you.
Then Commander.
Yeah, you duck, come up here, you get your certificate, shake, take, salute.
And then hug the chief.
Yeah, hug the chief, come over here, sign your thing.
Right.
They come down this way. And then go all the way around.
Yeah, when do we get in?
It'll be the first thing you do when you come up, so you'll put your thing, they'll say like, such person's gonna come.
Oh, yeah. And then you
I'll
come,
say pinning on.
and then I hand this to you, and then you go.
Well, there's a sign on the correct way.
Wings point up. Remember.
It is kind of difficult to see that. Probably.
Wings are in distress. Wings are in distress.
This is more of a.
Got to legalize it.
I think so. So, what?
Times.
So, you guys good? Ready?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, so you're not gonna put it in the back. You're just gonna put that on. Yeah.
Right above it.
Yeah. You see his? Yeah, I know. You got a ranger school.
You should. I saw his,
Hill.
he had his,
The umbrella or the parachute.
school.
Yeah.
He was a prior army or something.
Who?
Guy had.
No, the only prior armor is this guy. No, that's a insignia for different. Oh, we are.
There's like
No, that's just the job.
The whole family watched.
The job. I think like that. Yeah, I don't know.
You're up there.
This one is really the.
Can you say something? Like from there?
I'll just read something.
Yeah, just read something. In your voice, they're going to be.
We are here to celebrate the hard work and sacrifice of these graduating students and their families.
Good.
I'm supposed to have the marketing. No, I got it in basics, but they never actually bought me. They gave me the marketing room and they didn't keep it.
Well, hey, authority, whatever it says on there.
Hello.
It's actually like really upper hand.
They slide there.
Nice.
Yeah. And then.
Literally.
It's you. You're in.
So basically, from basic, they'll go through the steps.
Yeah, they do that one time.
YouTube stream.
We brought a space in the street.
Whoa.
Those are confusing.
You're gonna get all confused. You're not gonna know.
Or escape you, yeah. You can be like, what?
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
I feel like I had to. Oh, it's just the last two that you didn't give me. We'll get started first. Yeah, we are.
Such a.
Such an odd number. You should have graduated.
So we got pictures of all the others.
We do have one. Those names are not allowed. We do have one.
Yeah.
I saw him out there.
Sorry, I'm also smart.
Yeah. We're gonna pick them up.
You
started on the number?
Yeah, they're big.
We had. We get out of here.
I would like to be. I thought it would use it more than I did, but it's like, I'm thinking, I think that once. Actually,
Well, I think a lot of people would rather get a Pensacola. Alabama. Yeah, it's fun. Challenge. Yeah, we went 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Yep.
Is this up there because it's
Yep.
They're all
Yeah, I priced it out. When you get to yeah, it's your yeah. Or you can gather more costs.
That's why I like the
Actually, they changed that because the also are not. There's always something.
I guess the reason why they
It has to be, it's literally required, anything we sell. Yep, I will.
So we're the last two, so I think I'll go by the last two.
Yeah, so the way it works is for podcast associates, they have an interpreter pin on the one person, and everyone else is that. So it has to be someone with I will check for those people. See where they fishing parties. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna do it. I'm gonna call them and we're gonna go up there. I'm gonna drop my duck off. Like we're over here, and then we're gonna come up. I'm gonna hang with it. And then we're gonna take when I get up there and give you yeah, after you give me well, they'll get a picture. There. I break a lot all the time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The ceremony will begin shortly. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. Please stand for the entrance of the official party. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Technical Sergeant Jason Burgess, and I will be your MC for today's ceremony. I would like to take this time to welcome all of our attendees. First, I would like to introduce, representing the Commander, 333rd Training Squadron, Major Adam Ray. The Senior Enlisted Leader, Chief Master Sergeant Cody Bailey. And the First Sergeant, Technical Sergeant Joshua Palpy. Now I would like to introduce our distinguished guest, the Senior Enlisted Leader of the 62nd Cyberspace Squadron, Senior Master Sergeant Nathan Chu. And finally, I offer a warm welcome to the family members and friends of the graduating class. We are here to celebrate the hard work and sacrifice of these graduating students and their families. Cyber warfare operators are needed more than ever before. In 2018, the Commander, United States Cyber Command, General Paul Nakasone, stated of the cyber landscape, a mature and highly capable cyber force is built and in the fight. aggressively defending our network, conducting daily operations against adversaries, and strengthening the combat power and lethality of the U.S. forces around the world. We are at a defining time for our nation and our military. Near-peer competitors are posturing themselves, and threats to the United States' global advantage are growing. Nowhere is this challenge more manifest than in cyberspace. Today, these freshly minted cyber operators are charged with defending our nation against these ongoing threats by employing capabilities to directly meet Presidential, Secretary of Defense, and Combat Commander objectives around the world. To the new graduates, congratulations on this crowning achievement.
Here, here.
At this time, I'd like to welcome Major Ray to the stage to give the graduating class some encouraging remarks. Sir, the floor is yours.
All right. Thanks, Sergeant Burgess. Good morning, class. Welcome. I'm sure this is a long-awaited day, wasn't it? Yep, absolutely. First of all, thank you. Thank you for making the decision to be here. As I look at the ribbon racks, as I look at the ranks, as I look at the smiling faces, more importantly, I see experience. I see experience that you just can't get from a textbook. You just can't get from watching a video. You just can't get from going through some of our training exercises. Now, we put you through some tough ones, and hopefully that gave you, some more wrinkles in the nugget, maybe a little wrinkles around the eyes, depending on how late you're staying up. But that experience is what we need out there in our operational field now. And so you've done well here in the academic world, and we've put you through the ringer. Now it's time for you to leave here and shine. It's time for you to be part of the community. And I wanted to talk today a little bit about the history of our community and a little bit of the heritage of our community. So a lot of times, heritage and history, sometimes they get mixed together. There's a little bit of an overlay, like a Venn diagram, but they're definitely different and they're definitely distinct. So speaking on history, I'll talk a little bit of history about our space capabilities, because obviously, as I look across, I see many of our guardians that are here today. And, for those in the crowd that don't know, these guardians is our first ones that are going through and graduating here. And so I'm very, very excited to see that we're continuing that tradition of history and heritage. But if we look back at US, the Air Force Space Command, it actually started out 26 days before this guy was born. So the command was set up at the beginning of January in 1983. Don't you dare do the math. And it was at that time that under the 12th Wing, and they set up the first space wing. And the idea was, hey, we're going to meet some of the presidential objectives of what you may have heard as Star Wars. But really, it's talking about utilizing our space capabilities to be able to enable our military operations. We understood that we could get ourselves out of the low Earth orbit, and we can get into other places where we would have persistent look, persistent communications, and sometimes persistent communications interception if we have things that are out in space. So it was recognized as a place where we needed to be. And Air Force took on that responsibility, and they continued to take that on until about 2009. So some not so fun things happened with some nukes, and we don't talk about it that often, but Global Strike Command came about. And so at the same time, cyber, which really didn't have a home, it was more calm and it was starting to grow as a cyber community, and utilizing many of those space assets, they moved under to the U.S. Space or Air Force Space Command in support of U.S. Strategic Command. And that's where the birth of our really tight-knit community between not only the space operators, so those that are flying the satellites, doing the command and control, but also the cyber pieces as well. How is the RF interacting and merging with our network capabilities, with our intelligence capabilities? It ended up being a platform, a synergy, and we continue to have that synergy under Air Force Space Command until in 2019, we began the stand-up of the U.S. Space Force. So there's a lot of history that's there, but I want to focus more on the heritage. And the heritage of us going back to those of us who saw the opportunities that were there, saw the opportunities to link different domains, different platforms with space, with cyber operations, with computer networking, with programming, and we found synergy. We found it at the lowest levels, the grassroots levels, the places where you are all going to be not only operators, but you're going to be leaders in those places as well. And so when you have your wings on today, there's a strong heritage behind that. There's a strong heritage to the rings that go around the globe that are here. And it doesn't matter, which branch you are in the Department of the Air Force, you are strong to that heritage, and you'll carry that with yourself as you wear your cyber badge going forward. So thank you for that. My last thank you is for the families and the friends. Thank you for coming out and supporting these fine warriors. That's what they are. They're warriors. They have the warrior ethos and mentality. They demonstrate it to our instructors that are out here. And I want to thank the instructors for holding them to that high Mad Duck standard. Every day, you continue to push the levels, push the bars. And even as we get new folks on board, you're bringing them to that level. So it is greatly appreciated. So once again, thank you very much. You are now making history and you're becoming part of our heritage. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Major Ray. Now, I would like to introduce today's guest speaker, the 333rd Senior Enlisted Leader, Chief Master Sergeant Cody Bailey.
All right. What's going on, team? All right, good morning, everyone. Man, how do I follow that? Huh? Yeah, well done, Major Ray. Let's give Major Ray another round of applause, all right? First and foremost, I want to thank our senior leaders that are in the room. We got Senior Master Sergeant Chu over here from the 67 CYS. Thank you for celebrating today's prestigious event with all of us today. Thank you to our senior leaders out in that are listening in to the stream that's going on right now. Thank you for, even though you're not able to be here presently, but at least in spirit and being able to observe online. Then I also want to thank our families that are in this room. Hey, y'all look great. Appreciate y'all coming by and spending a little time with us, because obviously these 11 airmen and guardians, these new cyber warfare operators, would not be here without the support of each one of you in order to get them across this finish line today. And I know what stands between you and those cyberspace wings is how long I go with this speech. And there's been times it goes pretty long, okay? But we have some notes that I'm going to share with you here soon. But before I move forward, I just want to thank my instructor staff, right? The cadre, the folks that are here day in, day out in order to ensure that we have the best level of training in cyber warfare to date. They do an incredible job. So, hey, thank you, team, for everything that you do on a day-to-day basis in support of this mission. And then last, but certainly not least, hey, to our guardians, to our airmen, cyber warriors that are about to walk across the stage. Congratulations to each one of you. All right, it's been a pleasure to see you continue to work hard in order to make it across this very, very tough and challenging course, this initial skills training. And you still got a ways to go before we certify you as operators, so you can go ahead and get out in the field and do what you do in order to support our nation and the defense of our nation. Like I said, I have a couple of talking points that I want to get at. If you don't mind, just bear with me. But as far as today, we talk about the significance of today's events, and Major Ray has eloquently put our history on the Air Force moving into Space Force, and as far as where we're at today and why today is so important. But I don't want to say that this is any different than last week's graduation, right? Because the fact of the matter is, you all have been tried, you've been tested, and you've been challenged. over the last 4 to 6 months that you were here, right? Is that true? Yeah, you did it. You walked across the burning sands and here you are about to pin on your wings. But we're not going to undermine why today is so important, because today is the first day that we are seriously going to have airmen and guardians walk across the same stage and complete this training at the same time as a joint force, empowered to wreak havoc on our enemies, looking to undermine our nation's security. You see, the threats to our nation is spanned across multiple domains, right? We got land, we got sea, we got air, we got cyber, we got spectrum, and we got space. And today our satellites is our modern way of living. Everything that we do is somehow connected to those beautiful geolocations in order to get us from point A to point B, right? Everything, from the ships to our aircraft, everything relies on that communication. I say that that's our modern way of life, but also say that it's the modern way of warfare as well. Because if we think about it, all it takes is a cyber attack to break up those communications that can blindly, where we would be at a point where we are moving or maneuvering blindly inside of this warfare. And that is something that we all know that can be catastrophic to our way of living and the way that we fight in the future. So therefore, our senior leaders have deemed that it was important for us to establish a military branch clearly focused on the defense of those very important weapon systems, right? And the defense force will be built by our best and brightest minds in order to win in and throughout the 22nd century. Those senior leaders chose you, our airmen and our guardians that are graduating today. They chose you. But they didn't choose you blindly. They didn't choose blindly. They didn't just sit there and say, you know what, I'm gonna grab some guardians and throw them out to a SANS course out there or whatever contract vendor that was gonna train you to the next level. They didn't do that, right? They deliberately thought about how can I up the skill sets of each one of our airmen and each one of our guardians that are here today. They didn't choose SANS. They didn't choose no commercial vendor. They chose cyber warfare operators, the instructor, or excuse me, the initial skills training pipeline for cyber warfare operations. That's who they chose. They chose these guys in the back over here in order to train you to the highest level. They could have sent you to one of our other sister squadrons. They could have sent you over to a joint cyber warfare training pipeline that Army's leading or Navy's leading or wherever it is, but they decided that they were going to come right here to this schoolhouse. So with that said, let's give a round of applause to our instructors and our cadre, because they were the ones that were chosen by leaders to up the skill sets of every person that's in this room. Give them a round of applause. Right? Is it true or not? Right? It's true. It's true. And hopefully they did it. But like we talk about, but that's just the foundation, right? That's just where we are today. But as far as where we're going, that's up to you. All right, you have initial skills initial qualification training. You got mission qualification training. You got to learn your weapon system. When it comes to cyber vulnerability assessment, the hunt mission that's out there that each of you will support, and those that are going to go off to offensive cyber operations, that training pipeline, there's more to come, and it's going to get even tougher. But I'll tell you, again, why did they choose this pipeline? It's because of the success that we have in the field. I hear our senior leaders all the time talk about the quality of airmen that we push. That success rate goes up as far as what they're capable of doing and how they complete that next phase in their cyber warfare operations experience. That's what you get from the schoolhouse. So team, I'm not going to rehash everything that Major Gray put together. I won't. But what I will say is it's that season right now where we start talking about high performance. Why? It's evaluation time, right? I'm sure each one of you have your evals that are coming due here soon, right? If it's not in November, then it's coming up in January timeframe. So I'm not here to take up your time and talk about bullet writing, right? Or capture, what a narrative is going to look like a year from now. We're not going to talk about that, because here internal to our organization, when we talk about high performance, we even describe it as when we read bullets and evaluations, we say, is it a high job or is it a did job, right? We determine what that line is, but sometimes it's not clearly conveyed to airmen and guardian on what high performance truly means. And sometimes I don't understand it myself. I just know that's where I operate. That's a joke. That's kind of, all right. But when it comes to high performance, last night after a slice of pizza or two and maybe a couple of drinks, I was listening to a podcast, and on this podcast they were talking about defining what true high performers consider what they identify with as far as characteristics. And immediately I'm thinking, oh, well, it's got to be grit, right? You got to have that tenacity to go out there and change some things and innovate. And you got to work your hardest out there. You got to hustle. You got to grind, right? Yeah, I'm sure that's a part of it. But I love the way that they phrased it, and they only left me hanging with 3 points. And one of those 3 points where they talked about was full engagement. Full engagement. That's truly where a high performer identifies with. That's those that are successful in all industries. It's that full engagement. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I can see that. But it wasn't always the case. Growing up in the Air Force, it definitely didn't hit me until around 2011 when I was already wearing the rank of tech sergeant, where I started to understand what full engagement meant. It was that, one, you had to be extremely technical and capable of doing what was asked of you. But then on top of that, the full engagement was that you were truly committed to what the Air Force was requiring of me. Understanding how I tied to the mission, understanding that the work that I did every day, how it makes our unit better, identifying where we can look at opportunities to make the unit better, improve the unit, right? Fully understanding what it meant to wear this uniform. That's where I started to understand that the higher calling that we all raised our right hand to commit to, where I knew that I had to take it a little bit further, and I had to have a deeper understanding of what drives me, why I'm so passionate, why I care, what my purpose is, and why I want to continue to wear this uniform for the next 10 to 20 years later down the road. Full engagement, understanding where your weaknesses are and looking for opportunities to get better, and then how you tie to the big picture. You're going to get an opportunity to do that. And I hope that you learn that full engagement is going to determine how high you perform. The second thing that they mentioned was confidence. I was like, okay, all right. I think I got that covered, right? I think so. But then I started wondering, well, why is that confidence is so important? Well, because in this Air Force and Space Force, I tell you, it's respected here more than anywhere else, where we expect for our NCOs, the backbone of the Air Force, to sit there and be able to convey where there are problems and also convey where there's going to be solutions to leadership. No one does it better than us right here. That confidence is important. So how do you get it? One, be great at your job, right? That technical prowess. You got to have the confidence and the ability to continue to be a technical expert in your field, right? But then on top of that, it also, that confidence is those that you surround yourself with. NCOs, you can't hide in the corner and expect to be confident or great at what you do. You just can't do it. You got to surround yourself with people that are going to instill in you, those that are going to pour into you to make you better, to challenge you, to give you feedback on where you are coming up short and improving on who you are as a person and professional. You need that. So build that network, expand that network, and that trusted circle of people that want to tell you the truth. Build your confidence. And the last thing that they had me pondering is joy. Crazy, right? It's like joy, man. Shoot, not everybody in this room, you don't come to work every day with joy. I hope you do. But they mentioned joy. That's where truly high performers, that's what they identify with. And I tell you, when I walk inside of this unit, I feel that. I feel that from my instructor staff. I feel that from the leadership team. I think we really genuinely care about what we do and we have fun doing it. I want you to find joy in defensive cyber operations. I want you to find joy in cyber warfare. Because when you have that, it's not just thinking about what it is that you have to do today. It's about what you get to do today. And what you get to do is represent United States Air Force, Space Force. You get to wear those wings. You get to get after a mission that is unmatched in any other sector in the world. Any other Department of Defense, Sister Service, whoever it is, it's unmatched. We have a mission to do. I need each one of you to perform at your highest level because each one of you are high performers. Just take those 3 little lessons and assess yourself in comparison every day. Congratulations to each of you. Thank you again to our audience that's here present today. Thank you to our audience that is streaming and listening in. And without further ado, who's ready to graduate? Oh my God. Oh my God. Who's ready to graduate? Let's get at it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Master Sergeant Bailey. Now, before we present the students' graduation certificates and badges, I would like to provide an explanation to the meaning of the Cyberspace Operator Badge. The lightning bolt wings signify the cyberspace domain, while the globe signifies the projection of cyber power worldwide. Together, the lightning bolt wings and the globe represent our common communications heritage. The bolted wings centered on the globe are taken from the Air Force SEAL and signify the striking power through air, space, and cyberspace. The orbits circling the globe signify the space-related elements of the cyberspace mission. Class 22013, please prepare for the presentation of your cyber badges. During the course, the students were given a small rubber duck. In the hacking community, it is common for operators to keep a small rubber duck nearby to be a silent mentor when challenging problems arise, especially for debugging code. The operator breaks down their thought process to the duck, and in doing so, discovers any errors in their logic they may have made along the way. These ducks symbolize the students' hard work and know the difficult path they have walked on their way to this moment. The ducks they confer will be inducted into the enlisted heritage room to provide a vigil over the students who come behind and serve as a reminder to the instructors of how many operators we have forged along the way. As each student's name is called, will the student and member presenting their badge please come forward. As you pass the table, please leave your rubber duck behind so it may serve as a memory of your journey at the 333rd. Additionally, sign your name in the book to forge your name in Mad Duck history. Specialist 3, Michael Shaner. Presenting his badge is his father, Scott. Specialist Shaner will be returning to the 62nd Cyberspace Squadron, Buckley Air Force Base, Colorado.
Shader, well done. There's an actual flash.
Staff Sergeant Joseph Flores. Presenting his badge is his wife, Diana. Staff Sergeant Flores will be returning to the 102nd Cyber Operations Squadron, Quonset Air Base, Rhode Island.
Awesome. Well done. Congratulations.
Staff Sergeant James Gore. Presenting his badge is his instructor, myself. Gore will be returning to the 426th Network Warfare Squadron, Joint Base San Antonio, Texas. Congratulations, sir.
Well done. Thanks, sir. Congratulations.
Staff Sergeant Hollis Ibrahim. Presenting his badge is his girlfriend, Frances. Staff Sergeant Ibrahim will be returning to the 261st Cyber Operations Squadron, then used on base, California, Air National Guard Base, California.
Well done. Well done.
There we go.
Staff Sergeant Quentin Reinitz. Presenting his badge is his instructor, Tech Sergeant Ralston. Staff Sergeant Reinitz has been assigned to the 39th IOS, Detachment 1, Joint Base San Antonio, Texas.
We're good, didn't fall, we're good. Oh, I had frogs. Not frogs, not frogs. It's just what the pop. Go ahead. All right.
Very well done. Yes.
Staff Sergeant Abraham Taralva. Presenting his badge is his wife, Carly. Staff Sergeant Taralva has been assigned to the 39th IOS Detachment 1, Joint Base San Antonio, Texas.
Nice.
All right. Congratulations. Well done.
Technical Sergeant Paul Kirkpatrick. Presenting his badge is his instructor, Tech Sergeant Ralston. Tech Sergeant Kirkpatrick has been assigned to the 836th Cyber Operations Squadron, Joint Base San Antonio, Texas.
Don't do it. Don't just do it.
A little more. Perfect.
Go, man.
Technical Sergeant Taylor Martin. Presenting his badge is his girlfriend, Ashley. Technical Sergeant Martin will be returning to the 689th Network Operations Squadron, Maxwell Gunther Air Force Base, Alabama.
All right, back to the knots. All right. Coverage taper, that's it. Thanks, sir. Well done.
Technical Sergeant Terrence Park. Presenting his badge is our Flight Superintendent, Master Sergeant Griffin. Sergeant Park will be returning to the 42nd Cyber Operations Squadron, Scott Air Force Base, Illinois.
$20.
All right, thanks, sir. Congratulations. Thank you.
Well done so far.
Thanks, sir.
Congrats.
Technical Sergeant Joe Bielma. Presenting his badge is his instructor, Technical Sergeant Kelly. Tech Sergeant Bielma will be returning to the 62nd Cyberspace Squadron, Buckley Space Force Base, Colorado.
Perfect.
Well done.
Master Sergeant David Piedra. Presenting his badge is his instructor, Technical Sergeant Staggs. Master Sergeant Piedra will be returning to the 65th Cyberspace Squadron, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California.
Oh, yes.
Oh, mi parece. Oh, go school. There you go. See, we're getting it. Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
I'll give you a hug later.
Hey, you started with a hug.
Well done. Thanks.
And now, the presentation of the awards. The first award recognizes the outstanding contributor, decided by anonymous vote of all the class members. This award is sponsored by the Armed Forces Communications and Electronics Association, or AFCEA. The outstanding contributor for Class 22013 was Staff Sergeant James Gore.
There we go. You're right.
Welcome. Welcome. Great help, team.
The Distinguished Graduate Award is based on several criteria and recognizes only the top 10% of a graduating class. Requirements for the DG include having a minimum GPA of 95%, meeting high standards of attitude, bearing, behavior, conduct, teamwork, and leadership, and having no written or performance measurements failures. The distinguished graduate for the class 22013 is Staff Sergeant Khalis Ibrahim.
Yeah, I know, right? learned. Yep, we'll do the shaking.
Perfect.
There you go. Well done. Congratulations.
With each class, prior to graduation, we ask the students to come together and decide which of their instructors made the biggest impact on their experience here at the 333rd Training Squadron. This instructor is selected for being most professional, dedicated, inspirational, compassionate, and overall impactful, and known as the Furious Fowl. For class 22013, their choice for the Furious Fowl is Technical Sergeant John Ralston.
Wow.
Well done.
Speech.
The order? I'm going to read.
Okay, you read. I need to think.
Now, we also ask the students to take some time to write how that individual left such a positive impression. These are their words.
Oh, no.
This class would like to thank Tech Sergeant Ralston, known as Dane. To say his memes were dank would bring credit to his code name. Let this epic poem not be the last on your journey for greatest geek. There is no defense you cannot get past to stand over those of maiden cheek. You've earned the title of Furious Fowl. Let all who see it know their doom as you stand with your hacker cowl. They'll fear duck, duck, boom. This is the impact that you have left on these students. I would now like to offer you the floor
Thank you.
to share your impression of class 22013.
I'm at a loss. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it very much. I'm honored. Not going to get emotional. This class is amazing. You all are going to do fantastic things, every last one of you. I don't want to steal from the moment because this is your moment, not mine, but you're all going to do amazing, and I can't wait to be out there in the field working with you. So keep being awesome. You're all going to be awesome. Thanks.
We are currently in an era of strategic competition, engaging adversaries daily below the level of armed conflict. It has never been more crucial that our instructors maintain the strategic focus in guiding future operators to an understanding of the ever-present threat they will be facing. In the words of U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff General Charles Q. Brown Jr., we must accelerate change or lose. And at this schoolhouse, we teach that losing is not an option. By applying the star to the nameplate, it signifies their ability to stay on target, challenge America's adversaries, and furthermore, recognize their dedication to their students and their position. Thank you once again for what you bring to this mission and this schoolhouse. Now at this time, I'd like to ask class 22013 to come to the front.
Love is strong. Love is strong.
Need a bigger stage? You know, becoming a 1 Bravo is not an easy task, nor is it simple to be one. It comes with a level of responsibility and expectation few will understand. Whenever you are wearing those wings, you are immediately associated with greatness. As a symbol of camaraderie, we would like to pass along words meant only for 1 Bravos. Chief, would you please come up to the stage and be the first to welcome the class to their career field?
Yes.
Come on, let's give it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you class 22013, your newest batch of 1 Bravos. Let's give them another round of applause. Now, please join them as they lead us in singing the Air Force song.
Loud and proud.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. At 'em now, give 'em the gun, give 'em the gun! Hey! Down we dive, spouting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, go down in flames. Hey! Nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
This concludes today's graduation. Please come up and form a receiving line for our new graduates.
Before we do, let's take a picture of this moment right here.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Maybe stagger it a little bit, you know, like 2 lines. Yeah.
That's good.
While they're already there.
Right.
This is historic right here.
All right.
I didn't hear it close to
All right,
First
we just.
There we go.
Well done.
Since I went first, I don't know if we were scattered or not, or anything like that.
All right.
We good?
Wait, what's that?
I was the first one up there. Were we Saturday?
Did it get moved?
First, we were the first ones up, so I don't know.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Thank you.
Appreciate it.